and Mark and Luke that say, this is my beloved Son, are all speaking about the same person. Right. And this is the argument that Paul is presenting here in Hebrews. So it's taken up in Hebrews 5, 4 to 10 and shown to be exactly as prophesied. Now I'll read Hebrews 5, 4 to 10. Hebrews 5, 4 to 10. And no man taketh this honour on himself. This is of being a high priest, right? No man taketh this honour on himself, unto himself, but he that is called of God, as was Aaron. Right? Aaron didn't take it on himself. God called him. And so also Christ glorified not himself to be made a high priest, but he that said unto him, Thou art my son, today have I begotten thee. As he saith also in another place, Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek, who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with strong crying and tears unto him that was able to save him from death, and was heard in that he feared, though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered, and being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation to them that obey him, called of God, and high priest after the order of Melchizedek. Right, so note verse 9, and this verse, some people get this really screwed up. It says, and being made perfect. Now, that doesn't mean that he wasn't perfect and he was made perfect. What it says, Christ being perfected, proved to be perfect, became the author of eternal salvation. It's not saying there that he was imperfect and he was made perfect. It's saying that he was proved to be perfect. He was tested and proved. And this qualified him to become the author of eternal salvation, which is what we're looking for. But why did we need another high priest after the order of Melchizedek and not of the Levitical priesthood? Well, the Hebrews goes on to tell us this. Because for the law regarding atonement to be fulfilled, we needed a high priest who is universal, eternal, and superior. So we needed a universal high priest, and we'll finish when we get to the end of this bit here about a universal high priest. The sin problem is universal. We remember when Adam sinned, sin was imputed to all mankind for all time. It didn't just affect Adam and Eve, it affected everyone who was genetically within Adam and Eve. So all of mankind for all time. The Levitical priesthood was given to Israel, and they saw it as being exclusive to them. What was required was a high priest who could atone for the sins of the whole world. So God called Christ as an high priest, but after the order of Melchizedek, so that his high priestly role could be universal. It could be for everyone. Now, the high priest under the Aaronic priesthood was temporary, and he dealt with the children of Israel, and that's what he was about. But we needed a high priest who could be the high priest to make an atonement for the whole world, particularly for us Gentiles. And so Christ was called after the order of Melchizedek. Had he been called after the Aaronic order, he wouldn't have been able to atone for the sins of those outside of Israel and the tabernacle and the temple and the things encompassed in that. So we needed someone who was of another order altogether, who was able to offer a sacrifice that covered the sins of the whole world, to satisfy the sins, satisfy the righteous demands of a holy God regarding all sin for all mankind for all time. And we'll just stop there.